Hi, this is Edzilla16 for the Your Game channel, and this is the first video which I do as a response to the proposition you guys did about the content you would like to see on the Your Game channel. One of the proposition I found attractive is to do military guides, but of course my aim won't be to do it for militaries since those guys already know what they are doing, but it will be more adapted for gamers. My aim will be to actually provide you useful information that you can apply directly in games. The challenge will be to make it accessible and useful in any game, so that means I will have to satisfy Call of Duty player as well as people who play Total War series or Hearts of Iron series. So as I go along, I will keep in mind that what I will say may apply to sword fighting as well as machine gun and tank and stuff like that. This also means that I will have to explain some concept and some terms so that everybody knows what I'm talking about. So sometimes I will explain stuff that you already know and it's really not rocket science. But hopefully the point of view I will bring on it will make you a better gamer. So for this first guide I will cover the subject of the character and the player. So in clear the human aspect. So let's start first with the character. The character being your avatar. So like your real body, you can stand up, you can go crouch, and you can prone. And that's an important aspect of many games. It's at the core of the individual soldier on the battlefield. When a character is standing up, he will move fast. He will be a big target. He will make a lot of noise. He will be easy to spot. He won't aim too well. If he is running, he will get exhausted faster. He is exposing much more part of his body to enemy fire. That's the part where you should start to wonder why humans are even standing up. Well, there is the speed element which allows you to move to position which are better for you, faster, and gives you an edge over the enemies. Speed also allows you to evade enemy hits and fire. So you just have to move to actually evade something that can pierce any armor. So the benefits of standing up are largely related to movement. But it's not only about movement. There is also the fact that standing up allows you to see further and over obstacle. This will allow you to be aware of what is going on out there. And the situation awareness is one of the most important aspects of any battle. Now some games also contain the element of mass, the weight of each individual soldier. And standing up is the best way to deploy that mass as an effective weapon. Standing up allows you to deploy your mass as a moving weapon, which will push the enemy and break their formation. Now of course mass is not used in every game, but if you think of games such as Mountain Blade and Total War series, in those games mass will play a role, and the heavier your soldiers are, the stronger will be the push into the enemy line with your mass. Now into the mass I will also include the aspect of all the fire support you can provide to your team. Actually, when you think about it, you can provide a much wider angle of support fire if you stand up. Not to mention that some game includes high grass, so that means standing up is nearly a necessity if you want to see anything. So while standing up make you an easy target to kill, it has some benefit as you can see. But you must keep in mind that you are a big target and you make a lot of noise, so that means everybody will know where you are. Now there's nothing extraordinary about what I just said about just standing up, but these principles actually apply in many games. But now let's move to crouch position. As a general rule in games, being crouched reduces your movement speed, and it's largely related to being stealthy in many games. That's because in the real life it's also the best way to move around without being spotted, but with a certain speed. Also, by being crouched, your characters usually make less sound. That's because they are more self-aware or something like that. Being crouched also usually increases the accuracy of your character, no matter if it's a bowman or a machine gunner. I guess it's because when you're stand up, you have more chance of a muscle doing something he's not supposed to. Being crouched also allows you to hit the lower part of the enemy body, which is generally not as well armored as other part. In the large majority of games, the gain you get from being crouched is the accuracy, but also it reduces the size of your character as a target, And in many games it's nearly seem artificial how being crouched reduces the number of time you will get hit, especially against AI, but it's also very useful against player. And the smaller you can be as a target, the better. But at the same time, the main advantage of being crouched is that you can also move fairly quickly. Not to mention that in many games, being crouched will reduce your sound emission a lot. By doing less sound, you will make it much harder for experienced player to spot you. And believe me, the experienced player hear you before they see you. That means you push them into their secondary defense, which means spotting you. And being crouched will reduce also your visual signature, so you will make it harder for them. Not to mention that you will have a better accuracy than them if they are standing up. So if you have good reflex, being crouched is probably the best position for you. The only downside to it is that if you are spotted, it's much slower for you to evade in a crouched position. That means you should probably stand up and run away to evade potential enemy fire. On the other hand, in some games it's maybe a blessing to move slower because it will allow your team to move in front of you, and from there you will be able to use them as decoy. They will get shot at before you and you will be able to spot where they are getting shot from. So being crouched has many advantages, as you can see, and I think many people underuse it. But now let's move to the next position, which is being prone. Now being prone is an option that many game developers gave up on, mostly because consoles don't have sufficient number of control on their controllers. There's also the fact that some game could turn into total camping madness, and this is mostly because being prone actually hide most of your body and only your head may appear sometimes. This makes it very hard for anybody to hit you, especially with a controller. It's also very hard to spot you. Even sometimes you can be prone in the middle of a street and people won't see you. But of course that will be pushing your luck. So the best way to use prone position is to find a spot which gives you an angle on a position which enemies are forced to use. So as a rule, being prone is all about not being spotted. Because if you are spotted, in general you will be so slow moving away in prone position that you are forced to go crouch. And since people are already aiming at you while you're prone, it's really easy for them to switch to aiming at you prone and aiming at you while you're crouched or standing up. So you're a really easy target, and since you cannot move away quickly, it's clear that you will get hit. Being prone actually reduces your situation awareness. When you are in prone position, everything in front of you may reduce your field of view. While the terrain may sometimes help your prone position, it may also be to the detriment of it. And any small hill may actually serve as cover for your enemies. Also, being in prone position means that you won't move that much, and this means you will be an easy target to flank. So as a rule, the best thing to do is to regularly check your back, especially in the context where most games actually reduce your turning rate when you are in prone position. Now there's always the fact that being prone increases your accuracy, and that can be of great help, but really being prone is all about not being seen. And once you are spotted, it's really hard to remain prone where you are because everybody will shoot at you and you won't last long. So that was it for the prone position. So as you can see, it's really not rocket science, all that stuff. And I hope most of you already knew that. But these principles apply in many first-person shooter, many RPGs, many real-time strategy games. And if you understand when to use each stance, you can be a much better player. So I think this video is over, and I hope future video won't be as basic as this. If you have any comments, tricks, or tips you would like to share with us about the content of this video, go ahead. And if you have a recommendation for future video, go ahead. So keep your eyes open for more.